Y'all know I'm all about following the money. That's what we're going to do this morning because a new report released by Whitney Economics, as reported by Green Market Reports' Adam Jackson, says that the U.S. cannabis industry is poised for a massive expansion, and financial institutions could be the biggest benefactors. Is it finally time to invest? Let's talk about it. So I'm pretty sure that the investment community comes in a close second to politicians when it comes to being the biggest gaslighters in cannabis. But this story's in the headlines on multiple news sites today, so here we are again. According to a report by Whitney Economics, the U.S. cannabis industry is set for a significant growth over the next decade, potentially adding 25 to 30,000 new business licenses and acquiring $130.7 billion in funding. Bo Whitney and Company is predicting that the current market, valued at $28.8 billion in retail sales, could expand to $87 billion by 2035. Now, if that indeed happens, this presents a major opportunity for financial institutions with a lending potential between $65.6 billion and $130.7 billion, which could generate $1 to $2.4 billion in annual interest revenue alone for lenders. However, banks remain cautious due to regulatory risks and a lack of cannabis-specific underwriting practices. The report also once again trumpeted the hypothetical merits of the Safer Banking Act, currently under consideration in Congress. Technically, currently under consideration since 2017, but I digress. It says that the Safer Banking Act could help by allowing cannabis businesses to access federally insured deposits, potentially boosting financial activity by billions. And despite federal uncertainties, some states like Delaware are enacting their own protections for financial institutions that work with cannabis businesses. So like I've said before, I will believe it when I see it. I'm still going to be following this money, though. Anybody who successfully came up on cannabis stocks over the last near decade, I'd love to see proof. Let me see those ledgers. Too many people. But also the article saying the quiet part out loud right in the headline in all of our faces. Who's going to be the big winner? Like always in America, financial institutions, a.k.a. the big banks. There's America, people, the nation built upon and run by big banks. And no matter how much work we put in, they're going to be the ones eating. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News. What do you guys think, man?
Big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
All day, a day.
I mean, we already know the banks are always going to win. I mean, yeah, anyone that ever played Monopoly knows that the bank is always going to win.
Who gets bailed out first?
Banks. Big banks and the little banks.
Who denied your ass for a loan?
Not the big banks and the little banks, Jason.
Yeah, big banks and the little banks. Yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah. You know, equality, right? For banks.
See?
Well, I'll be curious to see what they want as far as strings attached to their loans. Because I've had to do a lot of personal guarantees for loan repayments and things like that. That have, you know, fortunately, if you have somebody with deep pockets as one of your partners, you can do that. But banks are going to get paid one way or another. And we still haven't figured out bankruptcy versus receivership and how that's going to work. Basically, I don't trust them. But, you know, they're going to come in. They're going to have a lot of leverage. They're going to be the tail wagging the dog in a lot of these projects. Because they require insurance. They require decent business plans. They do due diligence on you. And you can't blow too much smoke up their ass because they've dealt with a lot of people that are shady operators. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see how this really rolls out, because I basically don't trust them, but I don't trust private money in the cannabis space either.
Why don't you trust private money in the cannabis space, Dale?
Well, the first question is where'd it come from? Due diligence tends to box people into corners. And I've had more than a couple missing matches with people with money that are not really upfront and honest about where they got it and what they want to do with it. So I've just had some bad experiences with people who are less than totally honest about what their intentions are with their money.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, a lot of people in cannabis don't really talk about where they got their money from either. Just saying.
Oh, this is true. And they don't always want to follow the rules. And that's another one of the problems we face going forward. The rules keep changing. But in California, the 420 space got used to bending a lot of rules. Now, as we just found out from, what was it, Kush, you piss off the state, They'll come in and they'll stomp your ass in the ground.
Oh, Jenny actually wrote an original piece about that today that we'll be covering later in the show.
Kush Collective?
We'll be talking all about that later. Too bad, Rico, you're going to miss out on that one. You would have loved this one. Jenny wrote an original piece.
I'll have my headphones on. Can't wait for that one.
All right. Well, make sure you get up in the chat. You know what I'm saying?
I'm chatting it up, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way I feel about this, man, this is the root of the problem in America. And this is why we're always going to keep on losing. The way that American banks and the way the interest works in our banks means that we are never going to win. And the fact that banks don't go bankrupt, the system is broken.
Well, Washington Mutual did.
Argument. Well, one,
there was also that one. Did
it really go bankrupt, or was it just divided into other banks so they can get bigger?
There was that one that went bankrupt too. That all the cannabis people were using for a while. That one went belly up too.
Like I said, they just divide the assets and just divide the assets and then push them into other banks and make those bigger, and the cycle continues. This is if you want to dive a little deeper into my thoughts and why I say a lot of the things that I say is because
we're going in the deep end today.
Those are the institutions that need to be burned down.
Keep your floaters on.
They should be burned down. We have no gold-backed dollar anymore. The bunch is all a sham, and the only people that always get saved in this country are the bankers.
That's why Fox News has so many gold sellers as sponsors on their show, Rico.
Yeah, doom sellers.
Rachelle, what do you think about this being out there in the great state of Minnesota and like beverage haven of the U.S.? You know what I mean? Those people are getting some
loans
money
out there. Yeah.
I mean, I think that I have to I don't love that there's private, but that's just how this game works, because people can't get funding. And so there have to be these angel investors. And even if the banks do open up, they're still going to be crucial. And still doesn't mean that the loans won't be risky. I mean, look at Canada, like it's been legal up there for 6 years. And banks are still saying that cannabis loans are too risky. They don't want to do business with these people. But the fact that we're poised for growth, I mean, that feels optimistic, which feels really, really good. I mean, it's been so much bad news for years. So if someone feels good about something, like, take it.
I said joy right there.
I love joy. Stone,
I think it's interesting because they said the same group put out a study that showed the exact opposite about a month ago, because I reported on that one. So I just, once again, who's really pulling this data down? What's really happening and why is this, right? Like, who paid you to do this study so that they could get their investors to jump on board and feel like their deck has a little more validity? These studies are seeming, you can't flip-flop that largely on an entire industry in a month's time.
That's a very good point,
I would
Jenny
say
Beth.
This is disingenuous.
It's like I said, Jenny Beth, bankers and investors are the second biggest gaslighters in cannabis next to politicians.
Sorry.
I think we'll add the statisticians to it too. The guy who's running all this report, the data analyst.
Who, Bo Whitney?
Analysts.
Oh, God. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Why are you so nasty this morning, Rico? I want to hear from Stone and his fresh new back.
Yeah, he's fresh. Stone is back with a brand new back, you guys.
Oh man!
Oh, he got a brand new back.
Look at that.
Looking like a lumberjack.
Exactly. With his flannel on and all.
Moving slow, folks. Moving slow over here.
I like it, man.
You're looking like an old man with that beard too, Stone. You sounding like Dale. I think he's in competition. I think he's in competition with you, Dale.
I can't bend over to shave yet, so this is a month of growth.
Hold on a second. You can't bend over to shave?
No, man.
Why do you need to bend over to shave? It's your face.
Dude, back shots, bro.
Can't bend over, bro.
I'm confused because I don't bend over when I shave. That's crazy.
He's a lot taller than you, Jason. You're closer to the sink. He's got a wife at home too, so he can't make a mess and leave whiskers all over the place.
I don't. You've seen my house, Jenny Beth. You know I don't.
That's an occupational hazard. Because you're close to the sink, buddy.
Yeah,
close to the sink. Stop the cap.
Glad you're still with us, Stone, and you're vertical, man. You're breathing, and as a fellow bad back individual, man, I feel your pain, man. Sending good vibes your way.
I can't wait till I'm healed, man, and hopefully I won't have a bad back anymore. We'll see.
Well, I mean, from judging by the photos that I've seen, you're practically the bionic man now, Stone Slade.
Yeah, $6 billion man. Here I am.
That's right. Look at that. Look at that.
All
Dude,
right,
that's a serious beard, Stone.
Nice.
That is a serious.
I like the beard.
Man, that's a good look for you, bro. I mean, that's
It's good.
very Texas of you, Stone.
You got a little salt in that pepper.
Yeah, I wish you had a cowboy hat on today.
Oh, I should go find one.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, on that, we're going to roll into a commercial, and we're going to be right back.